You can make money and be miserable. You can not make money and be miserable. Or you can make money and be happy. What is the difference here? This is the fourth and final video on the Soul Purpose series, but despite all that you've discovered, if you don't simplify your life, you'll never amplify your results. See, when Steve Jobs came back to the financially sinking Apple in 1997, his main goal was to cut nearly 70% of the product line. Focus instead of diversification. Where can you be the very best? You can keep busy being busy, or you can be on target. You don't get a second chance, and every moment you're not on point with your soul purpose is an opportunity wasted and a life squandered. We have this famous rap artist that we work with at Wealth Factory, and he just saw an abundance of opportunity. The more famous he became, the more he was writing songs with amazing people and having his own albums take off. You know, there were just people that were coming up and they're like, we could do this and we could do this. And so he saw that as opportunity. The reality was, a lot of that was just distraction, removing him from his talent, being busy and making money, but not making as much as he could, doing the things that he was very best at and most unique at. So if he didn't get on target, that was going to be a plethora of destructive distractions. So what can you personally do to simplify and focus on your soul purpose? This stairway will help. It's a stairway to get right to the center of the target. So let's begin with this question. You can go to wealthfactory.com/solution, and this will be the fourth section on that workbook that we're gifting you and giving you for free as a guide to go along with this. So if you could only do one thing to earn an income, just one thing, what would it be? For me, it would definitely be speaking and sharing, right? If I could do two, then I'm definitely adding writing in there. If I do three, I'd be building out content for other financial people and a lot of workbooks to kind of implement what I'm talking about. But if you could just do one thing, what's that one thing? And what one thing will you immediately do to start cultivating your soul purpose? So you have a publisher, Bard Press, they actually did the one thing, and they did my book, 5-Day Weekend. And it's funny because I wrote all of this before that one thing came out, but that is such an on-point book at getting you focused instead of diversified. So when you look at the one thing you'll immediately do to start cultivating your soul purpose, what is that? Share this with someone that can hold you accountable, or place something in the comments so that we can support you and engage with you. All right, let's go to the next piece. Is there anything you enjoy personally as a hobby, interest, or the like that can be productive in your business life? I'm now integrating in my Win Then Play keynote examples I've done on stage at comedy places, but then translating it and saying, how can I make this connect so that people can laugh, they can have fun, and also I improve my ability as a speaker going into doing stand-up comedy. To find the time to live a life you love and make your greatest impact, is there one person or situation that you can address right now because it's creating an energy drain? Is there just one situation or one person? Maybe your finances are a mess. Maybe you have a wrong employee if you're a business owner. Maybe you have to have a conversation with a loved one that there's been an issue or a fallout, and that's starting to drain your energy and weigh heavily on your mind. I know it's not always easy to have these conversations, but we want to be hard, easy versus easy, hard. Do the hard things now and life gets easier, or do the easy thing now and neglect it and wait, but then it eventually blows up. It's kind of like course correcting over time versus a forced correction like bankruptcy or elimination of the relationship. So next piece is, what if you could only make one improvement to live your soul purpose? What would that one improvement be? It's going to put you on target. Here's the key though, spend 20% more time on that one thing over the next month. 20%, this is the Pareto, you put 20%, you get 80% better result if it's that one thing. See, you're the author of your life. You're driving the car. So what can you do to make an adjustment to be on target with the life you love? As you look at this workbook that has the Soul Purpose Analyzer, has the Soul Purpose Optimizer, has the Soul Purpose Wheel, and now we've got the Stairway, we're giving you the resources and conditions to discover your soul purpose. Why? Because, well, this is on video. I might not even get to meet you in person or ever see you, so I'm just giving you the resources. And even if I met someone in person, I can't look at them and go, I know your soul purpose. I know what it is. You can do X, Y, and Z. This is a self-discovery process. This makes development personal. Personal development isn't merely learning about passion. It isn't just dealing only with past issues and trying to get past those, so to speak. It's really this process of self-love. It's really this process of acceptance and gratitude. It's a process of recognition of what you can contribute and who you are versus what you're not capable of doing. Far too many of us feel bummed out when we go, oh, look at what they could do. If I could only do that, or if I only have that talent. Well, what talent do you have? Where are you discounting what you can bring to the world and who you are when you're at your very best? And what conditions can you create? What people could you spend more time with? What ideas share and influence and inspire you? Is there a single event that you could go to where there's the right people? Are there publications or audiobooks or podcasts that bring more of this into your life so that we nurture it and that we feed it so it starts to grow? Soul purpose is a lifelong journey. It's an experience of the best of who you are. Now, some might make a lot more money living their soul purpose than others, because some people's soul purpose might have to do with a nonprofit, because that's just one expression. But just because you're really precise with something, you might be a good surgeon, but you might be a good accountant. Soul purpose is not what you do, it's who you are. Soul passions are the expression of who you are out there in the world. And see, there's this whole notion that you can watch videos and they're like, you gotta hustle, you gotta work harder, you gotta do more. And some of that starts to create this playing to win mentality, where we're just always more, and then we wear ourselves out. We lose health, we neglect relationships, shame and guilt start to come in because of those things that we didn't pay attention to. There's disasters that happen because of that negligence. And all of a sudden, life becomes overly complicated. And that's where regret starts to live and permeate within the cells of everyone that's around you and yourself. So what can you do instead? You embrace the best of who you are. And it begins with self-care. It's okay to take care of yourself. There's this misnomer that it's all about every sacrifice for everyone else in the world at your own expense. Well, the less you take care of yourself, the less you have to give. You've got to invest first and foremost in yourself and be really calculated with that and careful to take a daily ritual, to take time to yourself, to take time to think, and to be intentional with your life. And then you want to eliminate those people that don't allow you to love yourself or feel good about yourself, or that they want to be detrimental or say why you can't do something. This is a lot harder to do sometimes than even what I'm saying here, because you may love and care about them, but you can still love and care from a distance. I think the game changer for soul purpose comes down to one statement, and I get it. It might feel just a touch airy-fairy, but it's the reality. It's love. It's love of self to the point where there's so much that you have excess to give. And when you've fully taken care of yourself, that you can shine at your highest level, you can make the massive impact in the world through value creation, serving others, and solving problems, but you can't give that if you don't take care of yourself. You're your greatest asset. Invest in that asset, develop that asset, know that skill set, delegate the things that aren't aligned with your soul purpose. It's okay, that's called investing. That's called prosperity. That's called divinity of diversity. We all have different things we're good at. If we're all good at the same thing, it would be hard to exchange. But because other people can take things off of your plate so you can do what you do best, there's more opportunity there with more enjoyment. I think that people that are in poverty are really, and they're trying to get out of it, when they're trying to do that through effort, it can be frustrating because it becomes about busyness and less about productivity. The middle class gets stuck in that mindset all the time. And look, there's certain advisors. I had an interview with Robert Kiyosaki where he interviewed me for an hour and a half, and we were talking about poor people take advice from other poor people, or the majority, and then they're just handing their money over. The middle class get their advice from someone different, and the wealthy get their advice from someone completely different than that. But the bottom line is, if you don't take care of yourself and someone else takes care of your money, it's never going to be money for you to enjoy. You might spend it just on getting your health back, or you get divorced because of that negligence, and all of a sudden half of it's gone. So feel free to invest in your soul purpose. Go through these workbooks, start to uncover and discover what's inside of them. And when you see what's inside of you and you bring that to the world, it will be inevitable that prosperity will follow. So it's time to turn your ideas into profits and build a life that you love.